today, until we get to that ideal world where AI will just work for us, we're gonna talk about what AI can do for us when it comes to social media. And this is a very dear topic. We've had several other sessions in the past couple of years. And I'm glad to say that today we have already some recent studies and some recent results from what actually happened in companies that implemented AI in their marketing and sales early. But before I dive in, let's do, just a bit of warm up. People are still joining. We're gonna give them a couple more minutes and then we'll start because we have a lot of things to share with you. Please use the chat window to tell us about yourself, about where you are logging in from, and what's the most time-consuming thing of managing social media for you right now? Is it content creation? Is it just managing social media? Is it strategy, keeping up with trends? What is it? Just use the chat window so we can take the temperature of the room and see where you are at. If you haven't used AI in your social media, uh, why don't you write that? I'm gonna ask my colleagues. Daniel, how about you? What's the most time-consuming thing for you?
Clearly, prospecting as usual. That's why I found some neat tools that I'm going to talk about today. That's the most time-consuming part because you want to automate part of it, and you also want to be very custom. So these things don't always match. That's where the human factor comes in.
So I see we have an answer here. Getting posts signed off by senior execs. Yep. Let's see how AI can help us with that. Lori will share with you some advice around that later on. Okay, so let's do a bit of an intro for those of you who are new to our B2B Academy webinars and sessions. I am Juana Lefter. I am a managing partner at NNC Services. I have my two esteemed colleagues, Loredana and Daniel, who are joining me for the session today. This is part of our initiative to share know-how in marketing and sales with our community. We'd like to keep this as interactive as possible. This is why we actually chose the meeting format and not the traditional webinar format, because usually we like in our sessions people to come off mute, to come on camera, to share their experience, to contradict us if they want to, and to ask a lot of questions. So although we have a very well set up agenda, feel free to intervene whenever you want through the chat or even just by raising your hand and coming off mute. So let's get going, guys. I like the memes from these guys. I find them quite funny. And this is actually a joke about, that writer's block most marketers have from time to time. But I found it quite relevant to what's happening when you have AI integrated. Sometimes you're just staring at the screen and looking at, a generative AI tool who is writing content for you. So actually, creating content is still and used to be one of the most time-consuming tasks. And what we all know that happened with ChatGPT and generative AI thriving all around us, this is where it helped the most. And you will see from the most recent studies I will share with you that actually companies saw quite a big impact in terms of resources, economies, and a lot of ROI from implementing that into their content writing. Now, I've presented my colleagues. Let's set the stage and take a quick look at today's agenda. We'll start by exploring the role of AI in social media, why it matters and how it's changing the way business engage online. Next, we'll go through some AI-powered tools that can help automate and enhance your social media strategy. Then we have something really exciting for you, a live demo of NNC Growth Hub, where you'll see AI in action. And we also discuss how AI adoption impacts sales efficiency and how you can align social media efforts with actual revenue goals. And finally, we will wrap up with Q&A, so feel free to note down any questions along the way. So let's get started. I want to share with you some of the most recent figures. So all the figures I'm going to share in the following 5 to 7 minutes max are from the last 4 to 6 months, and they are from these 4 institutes: McKinsey, Deloitte, Gartner, and IDC. So everything I'm going to share, it's from those institutes. What happened is that in the past couple of years, we saw, AI tools rising and people adopting it, some in a more chaotic manner, but we didn't have clear numbers that showed the actual impact. We had a gut feeling, we saw a bit of impact into our daily processes, but we didn't have the numbers to actually see the ROI that happened with these companies. So I want to share with you some things that happened in the past year. And some of this will show amazing changes, especially since last year's spring up until last year's fall. So in less than 6 months, you will see how things have changed with companies who adopted AI in marketing and sales in their organization. So this is the first one. This is from McKinsey. As you can see, industries like technology, professional services, and media are leading the way in AI adoption. By the way, put in the chat window if you are from any of these industries. I bet most of you are. But even traditionally slower adopters like healthcare and financial services are integrating AI into their business. And guess what? That's why I put this pop-up here. The areas where AI is being adopted most highly are marketing and sales. So across all industries, marketing and sales departments into the companies are the first adopters of AI and the first who see a clear impact on their daily processes. Now, this is the CMO survey, which came up late last year, and it shows quite a significant growth. The one that I told you about between spring 2024 and the fall of 2024. So AI adoption is actually skyrocketing. You'd see it's up 59% in just 6 months. More industries are realizing, this isn't optional. It's really a competitive advantage. So you need to get on board. As in the previous study, you see tech and professional services lead the way, but even slower adopters like pharma and energy are also getting on board. So if your competitors are using AI and you're not, you're already a bit behind. 2 years ago, adoption was at 8.6%. Now it's at 13.1%. In 3 years, it's expected to reach almost 40%. So that's a significant shift. More than a third of marketing efforts is expected to be relying on AI. So the trend is quite clear. Now, when it comes to those measurable improvements I was talking about, these are the numbers that show the difference between spring and autumn. Sales productivity has increased from 5.1% to 6.6%. it may not look like a very big difference, but imagine in a large company, in large corporations, or when it comes to volumes, how significant this shift can be. Customer satisfaction has also seen a steady rise because many of these AI tools not only apply to what happens before sales, but also when it comes to customer service. Lori will show you how chatbots can be implemented all throughout the process before and after a prospect becomes a customer. And the biggest impact, lower marketing costs, and especially in these times where we see some economic struggles all throughout the world, and we all know that marketing budgets are the first one to be hit by these struggles. This is very, very important. So this study says that companies using AI have reduced overhead by nearly 9%. Again, industries like B2B services and tech are seeing the most gains, but the adoption is all throughout. And then AI isn't just about automation, it's also about freeing up time for more strategic work. And especially those of you who are marketing leaders here know how important that is. This shift means less time spent on repetitive tasks and more on creativity, strategy, and customer engagement. For social media in particular, this could mean focusing more on high impact campaigns instead of just keeping up with the daily posting, which is now being taken over the AI. Now, let's see specifically how AI is nowadays applied in social media marketing. And I've put this here into the order of usage, actually. And many of us know just a few things. So obviously, content creation, that's the first thing that we all know. ChatGPT is helping to generate text, images, and there are specific tools for videos for social media. Social media scheduling and automation. We had some very good tools before, like HubSpot, Marketo, Pardo, and others. Some are on lower budgets as well and very approachable. But these have also been enhanced with the AI that is coming up. And I would say the other one that is very well known is AI for chatbots and customer engagements. Many don't know that there is a plethora of other things that AI can support with in social media market. For instance, we have social media ad optimization. There are tools that can help us do ad targeting, do budgeting, do performance tracking automatically. There are tools dedicated for influencer marketing and discovery. That's also a very tedious work. We used to do this manually, strategically, more from a PR perspective. Now, this can also be supported by AI and many, many others. And very quickly, I will share some other key figures. The most important, 81% of B2B content marketers use AI nowadays. So inside the overall marketing landscape, content marketers are obviously the ones who use this to enhance their workflow. AI helps reduce 51% of repetitive tasks. 42% report better content optimization. And the biggest shift you see here at the bottom is content demand has actually increased by 1.5. And luckily, AI helps meet it effectively. And some other very quick figures regarding the other types of things that AI can do. About the quarter, use it for personalization or for predictive scoring. 82% of global B2B marketers expect personalization with AI. And the one at the bottom, again, the most important one, AI-driven firms, so companies who adopted AI, are 1.7 times more likely to grow their market share. So obviously, this is crucial. Now, after I put this all into context, and please feel free to share if you have any other figures, any studies in your own company, or anything that you've read online. I will pass the mic to my colleague Loredana, who will show you in a more concrete matter how these AI tools look, what they can be used for, and tell you about our Growth Hub that can, help you address some of this. So Lori, take it away.
Hi everyone. Really nice to see such a interested crowd. So I'm really happy that this topic draws attention, and I saw already some very interesting questions regarding, using tools, searching for tools, and so on. Very happy to preview our own tool for social media marketing, and especially social media marketing management. The MNC Growth Hub, what you see here is a demo, but I'm going to show you also some clear examples of how it's used already by customers, especially the social media marketing tool. It's all-in-one sort of marketing automation. We've got pretty much everything, but today I'm going to refrain for speaking for 2 days about the amazing automations and the amazing AI workforce agents and so on that we've built into the platform. And I'm strictly going to refer to the social media marketing. Now, as marketers, of course, we have this challenge of, how do we manage social media? I think that ideally we would have a social media human that a specialized person that takes every topic, turns it into an amazing post and so on. But as we know right now, the social media is full of noise. There's little value that people get from social media. And especially in B2B, we have to be very careful around how we use such tools. And of course, we all know about ChatGPT, but in ChatGPT, someone needs to prompt it. You need to give it a lot of context and make sure that it does not, provide, let's say, side information, because ChatGPT is prompted with everybody's knowledge base and it reads the whole web and so on. So it may take quite a long time before things like ChatGPT, DeepSeek that's free, or other tools give you the outcome in terms of a decent social media post. So what we've done here, we've done a social media, I call it agent, but I'll show you how it works. Meaning, first and foremost, we are actually prompting it with our own knowledge base. And for example, our own knowledge base means blogs and articles we have direct access to. But if Forbes on Marketing is on my radar, if this is something that I feel it's relevant for my audience, I can track that in here as well. So I can add it, whatever type of informations, websites I own, even information from Google Drive, I can actually provide it even more knowledge base. So I can add, let's say, things that I have in terms of text. Let's say I want to upload it just a whole spreadsheet of information or a whole document or something, or I can provide it like a website link where it can feed off some of the information. So right now I prompted this and I gave it quite a lot of info. And again, let's say these are some of the ones that we own because I wanted to use this as prompt. But this may be something that I have as really good source of info. Let's say it's a news site. If I'm a product owner, I may have some of my distributors that are listed here, or I may have some of my suppliers that are listed here, right? Because this is relevant information that drops into my product. If it's an NGO, then I may have some of my stakeholders or some news or different sources of information. So you can feed that in here, which ensures that the information that the AI is going to spit out, so the output is going to be relevant for you and your business and what you are trying to communicate, not relevant for, I don't know, the global market. That makes it really specific and very different from, generating social media posts that are not relevant for your business. Now, as you see in here, this is a bit of a dashboard. We're going to see more into the reporting dashboard, but this shows me, for example, if I have recent posts and if I have scheduled posts. In this particular case, I don't have scheduled posts, but let me find one that perhaps has some. I think 1 second. I am going to use a very dear customer of ours that has some amazing social media activity. I advise you to take a look at their social media pages. Levit.ca. In this case, for example, they have scheduled posts, and I can also see that it's a bit of a drop against their previous 30 days activity. So maybe they need to add some more posts in their upcoming social media activities. Now, how do we create posts? But before that, let's look at connecting different accounts. So you can connect quite a lot of accounts, including Instagram and TikTok. I know many of these platforms cannot connect. TikTok cannot connect Instagram and cannot post on different, let's say, environments. We can do everything, including on the Google Business Profile, which is very important. Guys, if you're, let's say, careful about SEO, social media is very tied to that because, as you know, today we have to show quite a lot of sources of info. But since Google Business Profile is Google owned, it matters quite a lot to post through Google Business Profile. And I can tell you for sure, 99.99% of the people that I talk to, they don't have a way to automatically post for Google Business Profile. The more you post, the more Google is going to index and show your pages. So showing activity in the Google Business Profile is very important for SEO. So please use a tool like this that posts across any channels and where you can connect everything, including your WordPress blog. And if it's not a WordPress blog and you have other websites, you can custom feed, so you can basically connect through APIs or things like that so that you can post. You can also connect through different LinkedIn profiles, different X profiles, different Google Business profiles. So you can have, let's say, your brand or your business may own, I don't know, 5 brands, and you may own 20 social media outlets. You can connect everything in just one platform. Now, to go back to where we were and start creating, something that you will love about this is that not only you can create a post, but you can create a story, guys. So how many AIs do you know right now that can create an Instagram story, right? And you can also create a post campaign, but also a blog post. So which one do you think is more interesting? Shall we create perhaps a post campaign? What do you think? Yeah? Okay. So the AI can generate both images and text and images. Now, I can tell you for sure that it's more accurate if we first generate the text, so the actual content of the post, and then generate the image. But for the use of this, for the ease of this exercise, so that I don't keep you for 2 weeks here, I'm going to generate text and images. So please, just be gentle about the fact that this may not be, the best image possible. as it is best to first generate the text, so that the actual content, and then it will generate more relevant images, let's say. And in here, I'm going to just paste the prompt that I prepared. I must admit, I didn't tested this, so I'm a bit nervous. I wanted to, make it like real case scenario. What if someone just comes here and is trying to test this? So I'm like, promote the recording of this webinar. And this is the webinar that we are talking about right now. I'm saying who's the audience. I'm saying, all of that. If you want, I'm going to paste actually the prompt in the chat if it's useful. And what should be the image keyword? I don't know, business webinar on social media management, let's say. And I'm going to select the channels, let's say LinkedIn. I'm going to select my profile and let's say X, but of course I can select Instagram. Let's say also the Google Business Profile, because this is interesting. Again, you won't find this in too many platforms. We actually developed this so that it's something that we and our partners and customers can use. And I'm going to say that the tone needs to be professional, and I want a series of 5 posts. Why do I want this? Because if I just show one social media post, it's the same with email. If I just put one email up there, pretty much nobody's going to see it. People start noticing things only after the 4th interaction, only after the 5th, sometimes after the 8th or the 13th interaction. So the more blog posts I post about the topic, the more chances are that someone is going to see it on their social media feed. Now, mind you that this needs to be very tactful, like I need to use different imagery, I need to use different language, but still follow up with the same link, basically. So if I hit create post, it's going to take a while for the magic to work, but let's see what it comes up with. And again, this is just a very raw exercise, okay? So I have this post, and now I can review each of these posts. So I can review this in a centralized manner. So everything that it generated here, okay? And as you can see, because I prompted that it needs to be humanized, it actually did not fill this out with a ton of icons. It didn't show it with a ton of bold and funny, googly something. It's actually something very human that I can work with, okay? So let's say I don't like Unleash because, I don't know.
Sounds very AI.
Sounds AI.
Yeah,
Sounds
unfortunately, all marketing lingo right now sounds AI. Like before, we were using Unleash and Evolve and Empower and so on. Right now, I don't know what can we use, right?
we've fed the robots too much with our knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to say, discover how to streamline and so on. Maybe I add some hashtags in here. Okay, so I can even prompt it again. So I can hit right with AI and I can say add hashtags. Okay, and it's going to add the hashtags to this. And once I save it, okay, so now it replaced it. And now I have a different one. I can also customize by account. So I may want to have, with each of these accounts, I may want to have a different format. So for example, maybe on X, this needs to be shorter because as you see, I exceeded the number of words in a post. So maybe I'm going to delete some of this, okay? And now, if I don't like the image, I can generate it again, and I can hit save, okay? Now, what did I do here? Okay, so I'll just discard custom edits and go back right now. But it says that anyway on X, I just need to post on one account. So I'm going to select just the business account to spare this audience. As I said, I should have probably, okay. Good. So now I saved this. I can select which ones I want to publish. Let's say I don't like all of them. I just want this 3. I hit next. And then now I can schedule. I can schedule this series of posts and I can say, okay, schedule it here at this time. Now, one thing that's very interesting about this is I can schedule each post one by one, okay? And I can hit save. But as you see, I have a draft here. So this is not published. What does that mean? I can send it to my manager before publishing. Okay, so I can hit draft here, and this is going to be just in the platform. If you just hit draft, it's not going to publish. So my manager can have, or my colleague that wants to take a look or something, they can have a look at this. Maybe it's a creative person that knows how to do, images better with Figma or Canva or one of these. And then I hit save, okay? Now my post sits in a draft state, and now I can go and see what is scheduled, what is published, and so on. Let me go back to this overview. So I want to do just one more exercise to show you how we create the blog post. Again, I'm going to take a prompt that I prepared in here. It's about the same subject, about promoting the recording of this webinar. And I'm going to say that I want, let's say, a professional tone, long. I think that one thing that I would also like is to add some prompts on SEO optimization, which I didn't do here very well, but I will just generate this. Again, this is a very raw exercise. You can use much better prompts for this kind of blog post generation. And now it suggests what should be the title. I think that I like this, and it's going to generate an outline in terms of what should the blog post contain. Again, that was the only prompt that I gave it. I just said, you have to speak to this audience about this topic. It's a webinar that happens and so on. And now it generated this outline. If I give it the transcript of today's webinar, is going to be much more relevant. I hit generate a blog. And the moment I uploaded the, let's say, the image that I want, the creative and so on, I can publish it immediately or schedule it for our blog, okay, for the B2B Academy blog in this case. So I'm just gonna use this. This is already an existing image on our blog. I'm just gonna use this so that we can quickly go through this. And now I can actually publish it. Okay, and I select, again, I can use it as draft, so someone can review it later on, or I can post it now. And I have different options here, including who is the author if I don't want to be myself, categories, tags, and so on. Now, I want just to show you how easy it is to have such content generated. And if you'll read through this, you'll see that it's really good quality content that does not seem AI generated. As you see, it generated internal links, which are really valuable for SEO. So from all perspectives, this is a really good content, which someone like an editor can quickly look at, enhance it perhaps if they don't like, some of the verbiage or something, and then just publish it immediately. So I think that gives us the next level in terms of how we can generate quality social media, quality blog posts. But again, look at some of these features that you don't have on other platforms. And to show you like our best case scenario, and I'm happy that Sergio is here because he's part of the Levy team. I'm really proud that, for example, using this tool, we've enhanced quite a bit the social media channels for Levit and the way that the posts are done. And you will find here a really nice social media calendar with AI-generated text, with AI-generated imagery. Again, what I show you was really raw. Now, what's the difference? The difference is that in here, the prompting was done much better. It had a much better database of training. So in this case, it was fed with much better information. And of course, it had the touch of a specialist, which always matters. I have a gift for you, and this will also be in the chat. And that is, if you'd like to see what you can do in terms of using AI for your social media and posts and what you can do better, you can get a report here. This is how more or less how the report looks like. It looks at your website, at your SEO, at your social media, and so on. And it provides some suggestions. So you can go through this report, and one or someone in our team would take a call with you to run you through this and to set you up an instance of the platform so that you can test it and try it yourself. So just for free, we'd love to hear your feedback and to see how much it improved, some of your processes. I'm going to paste this in the chat here, but I just wanted to show you so that you don't miss out on this. And now I'm going to pass the mic to Daniel. I'm sure that I missed 100 things I was meant to say, but I already took too much time. And I'm going to be here for the Q&A in case you have questions. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Loredana. Thank you for this great demo. And indeed, you just, I think you just scratched the surface of what the NNC Growth Hub can do. I use it daily, so so do our customers. But clearly, we are here to further demo the tool. Let me share my screen. So once again, everybody, thank you for carving out time to join us today. And as a salesperson, especially when your inbox is probably screaming, close me, like a needy prospect. I'm Daniel, and for more than 5 years, I've been with NNC, and my days have been revolving around two passions: business development and helping companies scale by merging growth hacking with smart tech. Think as me as your friendly neighborhood AI Sherpa, here to guide you up the mountain of sales efficiency without slipping into the crevice of overhyped tools, because we've all seen the noise that is in the market right now. Quick note, if you're drowning in manual tasks or wondering how to actually implement AI in your sales process, grab me after this webinar. I offer free consulting, no strings, just actionable tips. And if AI ever starts writing you love letters, let's hope it's better at romance than my CRM is at remembering my coffee orders, for example. So I won't bore you to these statistics, but it's clearly shown in all studies that adopting a CRM and moving away from this Excel sheet, by the way, raise your hand if you've ever lost a lead in a messy Excel sheet. Those days are as dead as the dial-up internet sound. I'm old, so for the younger audience, the dial-up was the first type of internet that was publicly available. Today's AI-powered CRMs aren't just fancy contact lists; they're your sales co-pilot. This is how I like to think about it. They track prospects, they automate follow-ups, and even predict which leads will convert. So imagine your CRM texting you, "Hey, you need to contact Sarah right away because she's ready to buy." That's the power of AI, turning data chaos into actionable insights. And at NNC, we've seen companies exactly like Levitt boost close rates by even 30% just by ditching spreadsheets for smarter CRMs and smarter tools. So let's stop playing hide and seek with the leads. I'm confident that this is my truth, and probably it is also your motto as well. Sales is a marathon, not a sprint. So I use tools like Apollo for lead generation, Link Helper for LinkedIn automation, or Outreach for hyper personalized campaigns. And these tools aren't expenses; they're investments. Today I'm talking about the fact that there's the difference between your team spending hours on admin versus actually selling. Long-term term, these tools help you scale predictably. AI spots trends you'd miss, it analyzes data, it automates the grunt work and turns your sales org into a well-oiled machine. Think of it like hiring a robot intern that never sleeps and never asks for a promotion. And in the next slide, talking about tools that we use daily, I call this slide "Cut Through the Noise" because if you can imagine juggling through so many tools, let's be real, the tech market is a jungle. Every tool claims to have AI, even if it's just a chatbot that says, "Hello, human, how can I help today?" or something like that. So at NNC, we spent actually years testing tools to build a no BS RevOps stack. We focused on solutions that actually integrate, automate, and deliver ROI, not just slap AI on their website. This is why we developed the NNC Growth Hub. And our mantra is simplify. You don't need 10 tools, you need the right ones or the right one. And because I strongly believe that if a tool doesn't save time, if it doesn't boost revenue or make your team's life easier, you should just toss it and move on, because life's too short for tech that complicates more than it solves, actually. And I'm talking about social media and social selling because I'm the sales guy. Probably you figured this out already, and I hope you're not part of the AI will take our jobs party. AI can write emails, but it cannot replace you, the human factor. So social selling isn't about spamming on LinkedIn. It's about building trust. Use platforms like LinkedIn to share your insights, engage thoughtfully, and listen. Yes, you need to listen, because AI can analyze customer sentiment, but you turn that data into empathy. Tools like ChatGPT can help you personalize your outreach. It can help you draft hundreds of emails in minutes, but you add the magic touch, a specific compliment, a shared interest on your prospect's recent activity or recent company achievement, maybe some awards they've just won. Start that conversation and use many more custom approaches. Balance automation with tools like Link Helper, like I told you, that can automate your entire outreach process via LinkedIn. And this is a special subject I can talk after hours about. You can actually move away from sending invites, even from, it has a AI part inside that can even comment on people's posts on your behalf. It figures out what that person is posting about, and it automatically posts comments. And again, more than happy to demo it and show you how you can implement it in your sales process. Balance automation with authenticity and stand out in this AI sea of robotic messages like "Hey, first name" or things like that. And because I showed you that Rev stack, this is my sales tech stack actually. This is my cheat code, to say so, and I've also divided it in the amount of time that I use daily. And as you can see, we're talking about personal branding, we're talking about prospecting, account management, and lead generation. So for social selling, I use LinkedIn and Facebook, because even on Facebook, B2B decision makers, they actually have a life as well, and you can find them over there. But make sure you start a casual conversation and try to help before you start talking about how you can help. I use Linked Helper, like I told you, and Apollo for prospecting and lead generation. I add ChatGPT to generate some icebreakers, like I saw your post on AI, got any tips for a fellow geek, and things like that. And I record myself with Vidyard on my prospects page, for example, and I send that video to my prospects inside an email or inside the message on LinkedIn for this personal touch and personal branding as well, because I strongly believe that a 1-minute video message outperforms any cold email. And tools are just 10% actually, from to be honest. The other 90% is strategy. So let's talk yours. And before we dive into the Q&A, once again, I want to thank everyone for taking the time and joining today. I hope we managed to add value to your sales efforts, and let's make AI work for you and not the other way around. So, and see you in the chat.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Thanks for sharing your personal sales stack and your secret sauce. Feel free to book Daniel. He's always willing to take on one-on-one calls and, just provide advice or recommend if you have people in your sales team who want to learn more about how they can automate part of their process. Daniel is here to help. Now we are opening up the stage for Q&A. So now is your time, guys, to either use the chat window or just come off mute and tell us your questions or let us know what you think about AI and social media nowadays.
Hi, I'm gladly intervening first. Hi, my name is Adrian, and I would like to know more if you can provide information about the agentic AIs that you used. I'm guessing that you used a writer and then maybe a validator, then an editor, and so on. But I'm just curious about the chain of command that you used for agentic AIs in creating content.
Okay. So Lori, I think this one is for you.
So first of all, I am not a developer, but I'm going to try to emulate what some of our technical team has done. We went and said, guys, here is the idea. We need an AI agent that can help us generate content that we can prompt it with a specific content, not any content up there. So in this case, what I know for sure that they've done, they took OpenAI. So what's in the back is some of OpenAI, and I think that for our tasks, for example, they're using different technology, different LLMs. Right now, it's mainly OpenAI to generate content, but it's not ChatGPT, which means that the LLM learns only what we feed it. It does not learn from the whole database of ChatGPT. It's been prompted in a certain way, which I'd be happy to arrange a technical conversation if you are interested. And it also has some workflows in the back. Again, these were business analytics. I'm not sure if this is more of a technical question or if you have a specific use case in mind to understand if it's appropriate for your use case. How can I help you?
Well, it's not a use case necessarily, but usually when I use AI and I use some of the tools out there, I usually start with giving different roles to each AI to use. For example, I'm going to say to one of the AIs to be a specialized copywriter in a certain industry.
Yes.
And then I'm going to say to the second one, okay, you are the editor, check the wording, check the structure of the article. And then I'm going to say to another one, you are the data validator, please check that all the information is correct and so on. So I was more interested in what types of AI agents you used. Roles, roles for the AI agents instead of technologies necessarily.
I understand. That is case by case. So first of all, we fed in most marketing and sales positions and roles and as behavior, but also we allowed it to be prompted on an individual account level because, for example, some may need to be, I don't know, social media marketing for, production, let's say, and some may be a consultant in a marketing agency. That's why we allow the freedom with each account to be prompted this way. Does that answer your question?
Partly, yes.
The data is as valid as you feed it. So if you feed it wrong data, it's going to spit out the wrong data. If you feed it the right data, that's why we advise to only feed it with the information you control and you know directly.
Yeah, of
okay.
course. And sorry, and
Thank you.
one
Yes.
one other question, if I may. It's not a follow-up one; it's quite different. I was wondering what the differentiators are between your platform and Social Bee, for example.
Mhm.
Besides the Google posting differentiator, that it's definitely a plus. What other
Mhm.
differentiators are there?
First of all, we are not advising you to go with one platform or another. For example, we are HubSpot partners. We love HubSpot technology, and for some cases, we use it, we implement it, and we highly recommend it. We don't advise you not to use Social Bee, which is amazing. So there's a ton of really good technology. Right now, what we are trying to show you is something that you can do today for free and you can use right away, really high-end technology. Usually, some of these technologies, for example, even HubSpot technology, you cannot prompt it, okay, with your own knowledge base, right? And what we've demoed right now is a technology that you can use right away. It's free, and my colleagues are willing to help because we also learn. So once you use it, if you provide a feedback, oh, this is amazing, how did I miss it so far? Then we know we're on the right track. If you're using it and it's like, oh, this still needs, I don't know what, then we're happy to support you with that. So we're more interested into, is this, did we hit the nail on the head? And is this something that it's addressable and easy to use? And do we have solid use cases here? And right now we have about a dozen customers heavily using it on high social media voltage, I'd say, putting it from the fire, not just easy use cases. But we have, let's say, another about, I think, 4 dozens right now that are using it at the low 1 post per day kind of level, just a few channels and so on. We're interested to see, is this providing real value to the market? And again, don't go just with this technology or any other. Test, try, see what works best for yourself and implement what works best for yourself. I would say, however, that what's different about the technology here, and actually to be very blunt and straightforward, and I tell this to everybody, we used a lot of open source, we used a lot of, as it is OpenAI, it's a known technology. We used actually a lot of white label technology. We integrate quite a lot of tools. We still integrate tools and workflows and so on and automations. But what I'm saying is that there's no, there's something good for everybody up there, but there's no one size fits all. So test it, try it. It's really nice to have everything in one place. I think that's really nice about this platform.
Yeah.
Everything is one. For example, there's not many platforms where a lead comes from social media and you can track the campaign that generated that lead. We can do that. Like we know for sure this guy saw my Google post, in Google My Business, I posted this about our product or about our service. He saw the news there and he actually clicked on this, came on our website, looked at 3 pages, and then came and bought something or booked a conversation with one and so on. That's neat about having everything integrated.
Thank you, Lori. I
Thanks.
went on and already booked a meeting with Wana, so yeah, looking forward to
Awesome.
testing
That's
it.
the way to go.
Amazing. See you soon, Adrian.
See you soon.
Thank you guys for this conversation. If I can, if I can add to that, because I saw there were some other comments in the chat with people telling that they have, challenges with selecting the right AI tool, and especially in this, plethora of tools coming up overnight. I can share from our own experience about how we did it internally. Like Lori said, we did a lot of testing. So the first thing that you need to do is clearly define the problem. So what is the problem? What do you want to be solved by AI? Is it content production? Is it audience measurement? So clearly define it. And then what we did was created a short list for each problem of about 3 to maximum 5 available tools. Obviously, we've selected them based on the reviews and some other criteria. And we really kept in mind things like, is this affordable? Is this scalable together with the customer? Is this easily integrated with our current technical stack? So we had such criteria. And then we went on and tested it. We had pilots with each tool on particular projects, short term, I mean, 1 to 3 months. And then we measured the results. Then we compared them, and then we chose the right one. Now, this obviously is a time-consuming process, but it's important to do it right, and especially if this is on the high level of your agenda with your organization. I would strongly recommend you have somebody, if not a team, at least somebody, one person who is responsible with AI tools integrations that can manage this and build some pilot projects. But what I can tell you for sure is that if you don't do anything, so you don't test them, you're already behind. So whatever you test, if it's our Growth Hub or any other tool that's on the market, just don't be afraid to put it to action.
Yeah, thanks, Vana. Thanks for adding that. And we had some questions when people started registering, and I think some of them we already addressed. So I'm going to start addressing one by one just to make sure we covered everything. But please, as Vana said, feel free to add your questions in the chat or just come off mute as Adrian did and ask your questions directly. So one of the question is, what's the best way to automate social posting from content on site? As I showed you, for example, in the tool we demoed, you can feed your website as content, and then you can also prompt it when posting to a certain blog post. So you can give it a certain link to a blog post, and it's going to generate that 5-6 series of social media posts. And I think that's the easiest way. But of course, there's also other ways that you can repurpose posts into social media. There's actually plugins, WordPress plugins that would turn your blog post into a social media post. So there's a ton of ways. I think ours is a bit smarter, but again, you can do that through HubSpot and through other things. Second question, what are tools you reference in the summary? Are the tools you reference in the summary in the HubSpot Content Hub Professional module, because Richard is considering upgrading. Richard, if you're with us, please come off mute to give us a bit of a context. If not, I'm going to reach out via email or wanna just get in touch and help you with this. Yes, I'm not sure if Richard is with us. It doesn't seem like he's with us. So we're going to probably reach out and prioritize questions of people that are here. We have a question from Andre. Besides the strategy, I'd like to also see the cost-benefit analysis of such implementation, including the dollar value. Vana, what do you think? Do you want to tackle that? Because I think you covered it initially.
I did. I gave some major figures from the market, and I will answer this with our preferred answer in the domain. It depends. Obviously, it very much depends on the type of tool you are adopting, its cost, and specifically how much you are replacing into your current processes. But like I shown you initially, we already see high ROI, and we already see a lot of interesting results from companies adopting AI tools, especially when it comes to time reduction. So saving time from your people's, your team, it's very important, and you can go from there, finding a valuation. I can definitely tell you that for sure, in many cases, you can draw some costs down with at least 50%, if not more, especially when it comes to research. ChatGPT has, recently launched its deep research function, which, by the way, it's amazing, much better than the general GPT. I encourage you to use that. And you will definitely see a lot of improvement. So you can see valuations as high as 50%, if not more, in some parts of the processes.
Yeah, so there's no one case that I haven't seen a huge advantage. Any technology, even some of the free AIs that you find out there, spare you of a lot of time and so on. So the value is huge. How does AI and compliance play? How does AI and compliance play nicely together? Asks Joe. Yeah, that's a nice question, which we will leave the history to reply, I believe, because it's so difficult to tackle this question. I think this is both a legal issue right now, because we know a lot of people have a problem with how AI learns different information. There's also an ethics problem, because we know that somehow ethics play into most of this stuff, but I don't think I, as a marketer, have an answer right now. Maybe Daniel or Juana have a better idea here.
More than having an issue with how AI learns, we have an issue about how AI teaches what it has learned. How it spreads that information. So yeah, exactly. We'll have to leave the specialists to do with the compliance.
Yeah, what I can add here is that AI and compliance will work effectively together when the companies that implement AI keep that regulatory framework in mind. And they should have that not just in relationship with AI, but with their marketing and sales activities altogether. I know this is a topic that's been coming up. We are not, let's say, experts in this area, but we've been talking with some experts in the legal and GDPR industry. And actually, we are planning to have a webinar just around this topic soon. I hope we'll get their time, because they are really very busy nowadays, especially with large organizations who are implementing this on a high volume, and they really need the support of advisors and regulators in this area. So we will set up a separate session right on that topic. I promise you.
The question of how to coach and execute an automated social media campaign, probably it doesn't say here from Maximilian. I think we answered a bit in terms of how to post automatically, how to schedule the post over a week and so on, just with one prompt. Again, please use common sense, like review. Don't let the AI post up there without seeing what it did, etc. And again, I'm not going to bore you with more info on this, but we have a guide actually in the platform on how to automate social media. And I think following up to this webinar, we're going to add the link to that guide, just so that we give you a bit more step-by-step context of how to execute and coach such an automated social media campaign. Is about the AI automation system. Silvio, I'm not sure I get this. Are you in the call with us to give us more context on this question? I don't know. So is about the AI automation system. So I'm not sure what was the question here. Sorry about that. Okay, so I don't think Sylvia is in the call here today. And organization help would be appreciated from Chris. Organization, I think the calendar, the social media calendar is really good. I think the fact that you can schedule posts and someone can review them is also really cool in organizing. We can also organize it based on campaigns, and we're still developing this tool as we see that more features and functionalities are needed. We also have a sort of a project management / task management tool that could also help with that.
The CRM function as well.
The CRM oh my God, we have such an amazing CRM that builds AI profiles for all of your contacts and so on. That's awesome. We're going to have another webinar probably around that. So there's quite a lot of functionality, and not just with us. Again, there's a ton of platforms. Use them, test them, see what works best for you. And when you ask questions, please give us a bit more context so that we can be specific in our answers and not very general. Okay, so I think that concludes actually the questions that we got prior to the webinar when people started registering. Is there anything else that you'd like us to tackle right now?
I counted to 5 when they say the introverts start talking, so we are good. Thank you once again, guys, for taking the time today. Have an amazing rest of the day wherever you are, and we'll keep you posted with our next sessions.